Matrix Report, presented by the Conjugado. Today is Sunday, April 12th, 2015 on the Gregorian calendar. I'm your host, Matrix Wizard, and today we have part 1 of the Matrix Report special investigation into the National Academy of Space Actors, aka NASA. NASA is an extremely well-funded dog and pony show to keep the masses distracted with low-technology spaceflight, computer-generated images, and ridiculous mathematical calculations. Humans have never orbited the moon, let alone set foot on it. See, there's this thing called the Van Allen radiation belts surrounding Earth, and humans just can't get through them. The Van Allen radiation belts is a torus of magnetic charged particles around the Earth trapped by the Earth's magnetic field. Looks kind of like a donut. The presence of a radiation belt has been theorized prior to the space age, and the belt's presence was confirmed by Explorer 1 on January 31st, 1958, and Explorer 3 missions under Dr. James Van Allen. There are actually 3 belts, the first one starting around 600 to 1,000 miles above the surface, extending to almost 4,000 miles. The outer one extends out to almost 40,000 miles. These belts basically act like a force shield to stop other highly charged incoming radiation from getting to their surface. So this means passing through them will expose any craft to high levels of radiation. In fact, here's a space actor aboard the ISS openly admitting humans can only fly in low Earth orbit, which is under 300 miles up. And could one day go to the moon with better technology, meaning they haven't been there yet. Here, take a listen.
That's a great question. The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to.
Okay. Now the Soviets realized they could not get humans through the belts after they fried about 6 cosmonauts trying, and it's the reason they stopped. NASA also knew this, but instead of saying, hey, we just don't have the technology yet, they began a massive campaign of deception to mislead and easily dupe the American public to create another revenue stream for the American military-industrial complex and also boost nationalism during the Cold War. So in the early 1960s, after the NASA scientists realized there was no way they could send humans to the moon within 8 years, they decided to switch to entertainment and become space actors. With basically what amounts to an unlimited budget, there shouldn't be any problem using low-level technology rockets to put low-technology space vehicles into low Earth orbit, and combined with Hollywood-style special effects, successfully fake a moon landing and dupe the American public into going along with yearly expenditures in the billions of dollars on a space program for 50 years to come. And we don't get shit. What do we get? A microwave. Yippee. Maybe a couple other gadgets. We don't get the real fun stuff they have. Also, how much money have Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and other military contractors made off charging NASA exorbitant amounts of money to produce low-level technology, TV-ready rockets, and disposable space vehicles? Why do they have to be disposable? They can't make the ones that come back and keep using them besides the space shuttle? And that's also low-technology craft. They blew 2 up, I mean, seriously. So now to fake a moon landing would obviously require a large setup in order to make it look authentic. But then again, with an unlimited budget, no problem. At Langley Research Center, Hampton, Virginia, they built many of the sets and Props needed to pull off such an elaborate hoax. The people working on the project were obviously sworn to secrecy because, you know, it's government stuff. And if you talk too much, good chance you're just going to get whacked because it's government stuff. So saying, so the people want to say, oh, too many people would know, they couldn't pull it off, blah, blah, blah. No, fear's a good motivator, and so is giving people a lot of fiat currency. Humans are greedy and think they need a lot of it. Anyway, so here's one of the main sets of the moon landing. A 250-foot traverse crane, purposely built in 1963-64 to make a fake lunar landing look as close as possible to the real thing. It was used to suspend both the lunar module and astronauts, also known as the fake moon crater surface beneath the crane. This crane enabled movement of the lunar module in all directions. That would be up, down, left, right, forward, and reverse. And the trial runs were so good, the space actors opted to use the setup for faking the film of the lunar landing. Takeoff, and whereby the flag was blown over. Here you see a picture of the lunar module suspended from the crane during the day for testing. Here's a time-lapse picture taken at night showing how the fake landing was filmed. Basically, they moved the lander forward and down at the same time to create the landing effect. And obviously, the only footage was ever shown coming from inside the lander, so who would have known any different? Here's another picture taken at night showing the lunar lander with a random person standing beside it. Now, let's get the person out of the picture and get the crane attachment off, and what? You have a perfect moon scene. Here's another shot during the day of the lunar module. Now, the film shown to the public of the lunar module supposedly blasting off the moon's surface was also created beneath this crane at Langley Research Center. The mock lunar module was simply attached to the crane and hoisted very rapidly. At the same time, a pathetic-looking blast of smoke and sparks was enacted beneath it. Also, a large fan fitted beneath the module created the dust scatter effect of a rocket engine. The film was then speeded up to show to the public, and it's interesting to note that the camera filming the sequence cut short once the lunar module had reached the camera or maximum crane height. Here, watch real quick. Why didn't the camera continue to film the lunar module until it was out of view? Did they even have remote cameras in 1960, whatever they were up there? Or maybe it's all made for television entertainment. Now, to simulate reduced gravity, the space actors either used the same crane as for the lunar module, as pictured here, or they tied a large helium balloon to the spacesuit so the actors' feet were barely touching the ground, seen in this picture. Like I said, nothing like an unlimited budget and Hollywood trickery can't accomplish. In fact, you know, Stanley Kubrick directed this whole moon landing thing, so it should have been pretty good. Yeah, that's a subject for another day. In fact, that's all we have time for today. Next week, we'll cover how they faked the shots of the lunar surface upon landing, the supposed shots of a round Earth from the moon and from space, and other space actor trickery. As always, I'd like to thank the Don Chicago, my personal security advisor, the Deacon. Of course, His Supreme Highness Rudy. Tune in again next week for part 2 of the Matrix Report special investigation into the space actors. Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern American Standard Time, right here, only on the UC Network. Till then, have a great day.